It's Quant Trade Edge, and today is Thursday, April 11th. This morning at 7:30 a.m. we had the PPI data, and yesterday we had the CPI data, and we made a video on how to trade, with that news coming out. I'll link that, on the end screen here. But I wanted to just hammer home the concept by showing you how the exact same strategy worked again today for the PPI. So, before the news came out, we were trading right at about 51.80, and the at-the-money ES straddle for one day was 40 points. So 40 points would create a lower boundary of 51.40 and an upper boundary of 52.20. And the difference today is yesterday, if you remember, on the first 1 minute bar, we went through lower boundary. And that indicates a positive feedback loop can start because you went through that level with such force. The difference today is we went up, maybe halfway, 60% of the way to upper boundary, and then we drifted higher, drifted lower, drifted higher, drifted lower, drifted right up into upper boundary at about 8:11 in the morning. So that was a full 41 minutes for options to adjust. Nobody was surprised when this happened. Remember, the thing that causes positive feedback loops is when you either gap or thrust through this level, because anybody short the straddle or just short gamma in general gets caught off guard and has to buy to delta hedge, and their buying pushes it up higher, and it creates a positive feedback loop that makes things keep moving in the same direction. Here, because this drifted, this is more likely to serve as resistance initially than a level where you're going to take off from. So if you, from here, you had one decent pullback, and then this and this made equal lows. This low was 350, this low was 350, and then we moved all the way up to 52.20. So there was potential here for this 17-ish points, but it wasn't nearly as quick as the move this morning. But more importantly is, that when you test this upper boundary in such a lackluster way, it's initially going to be resistance. And we could have shorted up here at 52.20, and then on the opening bar, you just got a little retest here, making a higher low. There's always noise around the open, so it's a good idea to always be aware of where opening is. And it's not just the U.S. Open, around Europe's Open, there's a little bit of noise. But in this case, if you got short here at upper boundary, you drifted sideways for a little bit, kind of got that poke up, but it was a lower high, and then we got a significant pullback in the first 45 minutes. We went back all the way to here. I guess people would call this a fair value gap, but really it's just the high over here, which is 51.81. We got down to 81.75, so we missed closing that area by about 3 ticks. But the move from 52.20 to 51.81.75, that's about 38 points. So anywhere in here, there was a good 38 points for the taking. After that, we did make our way back up, and this is essentially a volatility compression pattern, right? It's kind of like a cup, a handle, and I haven't actually looked at the volume profile on this, but I tend to do most of these live. I don't have enough time to pre-guess what I'm going to say, plot it out, have an editor do some production value. I've got 5 kids, and I don't really make any money off of YouTube, so I'm just doing this for fun, and hopefully things work out as I expect. But yeah, on this left side of the cup, you had a lot of red volume. As we start building up the right side of the cup, you tend to have more green, big green, big green, big green, big green, big green, one big red here, kind of an indecision bar right at 11. There must have been something going on there. but then most of these reds are small, and then the greens are bigger. And this entire area here is just a area of compressed volatility. So kind of cup, handle, takeoff. And so the second time that we went through upper boundary, where is it? It was coming out of this consolidation pattern, which was what, 10:56 to 12, so a little over an hour long of consolidating here on a 1 minute chart, and then breaking out on superb volume. This volume, almost 10,000 lots in that one bar. So this time, breaking through upper boundary with better force did lead to a positive feedback loop, kind of a trending market to the upside. And from this 52.20 level, we got as high as 52.57, so almost another 40 points, almost to two straddles above. And that was just before we had a little afternoon consolidation and then a little breakdown into the close. Nothing significant, but just, and now we're building a whole nother consolidation zone right here. Let me put a rectangle around it. If we consolidate all night, it's still early, it's only 9:43. We got to get through all the European hours. That would actually, a very tight consolidation over European session is a good setup for a breakout trade again on in the U.S. session. So we'll keep an eye on that to see if that happens. But again, the point of this video is to hammer home the concept of positive feedback loops and how you can use news events to get get some guidance on what the significant levels are going to be. So again, the mechanics are pre-news, 40-point straddle at the money straddle. That's 40 points up. This is 40 points down. This became irrelevant because we went up. Coming at it slowly like this, it's more likely to be resistance on the first attempt. And we'll go back here and look at CPI yesterday. And I believe the straddle was 47 points yesterday, so that would be about 24, 25. So imagine this is lower boundary. And again, I'll link the video here at the end so you can go click on it to refresh, because whatever I put up there yesterday is probably going to be better than my memory is today. $24.25, close enough. On that first 1 minute, we thrust through it. And that's what led to this further sell-off. And this first little 1 minute, bar that's out of sequence. And by out of sequence, I mean it has a higher high and a higher low to the previous bar. We can add our Gann count back on there. Down, 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 up. Single up bar here. Which means you sell below, stop above, down, 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 until here again. And this is kind of where the bottom came in. So just understand the two different types of action you can get around the boundary. So the boundary can be mathematically calculated. It's just takes the options value. And I'll post, I'll relink the how to calculate at the money straddle at the end also. And yesterday, thrusting right through it, first minute. Nobody had a chance to rebalance any options portfolios when this happens in the first minute. And that's what leads to more downside. right? After this flag, there's another 20 points down. Contrast that to what happened today with PPI. I'm assuming I would recognize it if I saw it. There we go. Yep. Big upthrust, but nowhere near upper boundary, and then a 40-minute drift to get there. When it drifts there, it's resistance. When it thrusts through and surprises people, it will get continuation. So here, after this pullback, and it's almost within 3 ticks of closing that fair value gap area, we come back up and then spend over an hour consolidating in a beautiful cup and handle type pattern, and then we break out with some passion here. There's this bar was 5,000 volume, and then this bar was 9,000, almost 10,000 volume in 2 minutes coming out of this consolidation. And in this type of break of the boundary, and you do get follow through. We got a whole nother almost 40 points up. So almost a whole nother straddle. So anyway, that's just the concept that I wanted to hammer home today. We just got 2 beautiful opportunities day after day to cement that concept. So I just wanted to take that opportunity to do that. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in there. You can also, you're welcome to join our Discord. Again, in our Discord, we go over stuff like this. See if I can find it. Yeah, right here. So this is our Discord, and at 7:21 a.m. we talked about the PPIs coming, 40-point straddle, a little tamer than yesterday's 48. Okay, yesterday was 48, and that puts the boundaries at 51.40 and 52.20 roughly. And so anyway, that's here. I'll put a link in the description. And if you want to check out our Discord, you're welcome to do that too. Have a good evening.